Bred to Win, brought to you by Arrowfield, the home of four-time champion sire Schnitzel.
Hello, I'm Caroline Searcy. Welcome to the final Bred to Win for Series 1 of 2023. Coming to you from the beautiful Coolmore Stud in the heart of the New South Wales Hunter Valley, where of course we've seen Scone Cup weekend, one of country racing's best carnivals in Australia. Coming up on this week's show, Thoroughbred Breeders Australia's outstanding online learning video program for new people to the industry and those within it to brush up on their skills. The delightful Antoinette Inglis, born into a famous thoroughbred family, but with dreams of her own, helped by an enormous work ethic that's an example to all young people wanting a start in the game. And Peter Ford, the man who bought Black Caviar's Dam Hill Sing in Arrowfield Studs, horse who made you love racing. First though, all the latest Oz Horse news.
Good line, racing. Prince of Boom away well. Giga Kick was away second last.
Saturday was a massive day for racing around Australia, including the day's two Group 1 winners, being another success story for Bred to Win's major sponsor, Arrowfield Stud. SA Derby winner Dunkel, a son of Dunkel, will feature shortly, but we start with the elite son of former Arrowfield sire Scissor Kick, Giga Kick, securing his second Group 1 success in the Doomben 10,000 in Brisbane.
Overpass in front, Giga Kick on the outside, trying hard.
Bred by Jonathan Munns and racing in his distinctive red and white colours, the Everest winner thrilled the Queensland crowd. A close relation to All Stakes winner Alabama Express, now standing at Yulong Farm, and to Dato Tanchen Nam Stakes winner rekindled interest, Giga Kick sire was sold by Arrowfield to a North African sport horse breeder, with this recent video showing the son of Redout's choice happy and healthy in his current home. The win by Sofrado in the 2-year-old Group 2, the Spirit of Boom Stakes, was a success all round for the McAlpines Eureka Stud in Queensland. The colt was a Magic Millions $320,000 yearling sold to Cliff Little. His sire Encryption stands alongside Spirit of Boom, the Darley bred son of Lonro and Guelph, the Black Opal and Danehill Stakes winner. He's currently 5th on the Australian first season sires list.
In front, Special Sway from the Vals.
The Queensland Derby lead-up, the Rough Habit Stakes, was won by New Zealand-bred Special Sway, a son of another Darley-bred stallion, Swayness. Special Sway is from a purring Canto mare, while Swayness, also sire of Hong Kong star sprinter Lucky Swayness, stands at the Moolo's Novara Park in New Zealand at a fee of $10,000 NZ plus GST.
Commando Hunt's hit the lead.
Scone Cup weekend kicked off with the Cup itself on a huge day of country racing on Friday, with local trainers dominating the two-day carnival. Cameron Crockett prepared Commando Hunt to win his first Scone Cup, wearing the distinctive Max Whitby colours. It was a weekend stakes double for Kitchwin Hill's late son of Schnitzel, Time for War, as It's Our Time won the straight 6 at Flemington on Saturday.
Hip hip hurrah went to Dipsy Doodle.
The listed 2-year-old Woodland Stakes will again assuredly throw up future big race winners, with Sir Owen Glenn's homebred filly Hip Hip Hurrah the winner by Schnitzel from Sir Owen's late Percy Sykes and Furious Stakes winner Pure Elation, a daughter of Members Joy. A Lonro granddaughter of Portillo was second, Dipsy Doodle, and Miracle of Love by Dunkel from the great Miss Finland was an eye-catching third. It was a stakes double for the Darley Godolphin team, as Exceeding Excel's Athelric won the Hortensia Stakes, and Ribchester's Red Card was impressive, winning the Denise's Joy Stakes, her 6th dam, Denise's Joy herself, while Godolphin also had Character, a stakes winner at Doomben.
Nadachi after air assault.
The Adelaide Carnival continued with the SA Derby to feature shortly, but it was a great day for one of the state's most successful owner breeders, Harry Perks. The Perks bred Arrowfield won the SA Sires Produce Stakes, a half-brother to Go Indigo and SA Raider from the family of Golden Slipper winners Rory's Jester and Ha Ha, and Caulfield Cup winner Southern Speed. His sire Justify returns to Coolmore Stud this spring at a fee of $77,000 and is virtually assured this season's champion first season sire title. Perks also bred Party Princess, the half-sister to Dallasan, who was sold by Mill Park Stud for $300,000 as a Magic Millions yearling to trainers Leon McDonald and Andrew Gluyas. Her sire, So You Think, seen here on Saturday morning at Coolmore Stud, has seen his fee increase this season to $99,000. So You Think currently lies fourth on the Australian General Sires list, behind reigning champion sire I Am Invincible. At Flemington, Fiorente mare Luna Flare guaranteed a spot in this year's Melbourne Cup with a win in the Andrew Ramsden Stakes. Her sire, the 2013 Cup winner and son of Monson, stands at Widden Stud's Victorian base at a fee of $6,600. At Belmont in Western Australia, Bustler proved too strong in the Group 3 Belmont Sprint over 1,400 metres. He's another success story for his sire, Playing God, who was winner of 2 Kingston Town Classics and is one of Western Australia's busiest and most successful stallions, continuing the great legacy of his Swettenham stud-bred sire, Blackfriars, at a joint record fee for the West of $33,000. And in stallion fee news, Tasmania's Grenville Stud announced this week their Son of Snitzel Stratosphere will stand for $7,700 in the spring off the back of some smart 2-year-old performances. Barnmate Zululand will stand for $4,400. Our G1 Goldmine stats this week focus on Exceed and Excel mares crossed with Street Cry and his sons, in particular Street Boss. Exceed and Excel mares generally run at a success rate of 4% stakes winners to runners. When crossed with Sons of Street Cry, that results in 2% Group 1 runners and over 8% stakes winners overall to runners. When crossed with Sons of Anamo's sire Street Boss, that rises to 2.86% Group 1 performers and nearly 11.5% stakes winners to runners. Examples of Street Cry blood available in Australasia include Little Avondale's Perrin Canto and Richhill Stud's Shocking in New Zealand, Coolmore's Pride of Dubai and Street Boss, who returns this season to Darley Victoria's Northwood Park base. Sons of Street Boss available this coming season include Australia's best horse, the recently retired Anamo at Darley Kelvinside in New South Wales, and a Hanseatic at Rosemont Stud in Victoria.
They come, More Profits starting to swoop.
The Inglis graduate of the week was 6-year-old mare More Profits, successful in the Group 3 Dark Jewel Classic at Scone on Saturday for her trainer John Thompson. She's from the Reset mare Set to Skelter, who's also produced Rubiton Stakes and Fireball winner Prophet's Thumb. Her sire, Smart Missile by Fastnet Rock, is from one of the great Guri stud families and a close relation to Northern Meteor. He stands this coming season at Twin Hills Stud at Cootamundra at a fee of $13,200. Thoroughbred Breeders Australia has been an innovator in many ways in the Australian breeding industry, including their fast track program, bringing new people into the workforce and training them. And now they have online training modules where anybody can learn the basics of horse handling right through to some more advanced skills.
The no-no is this.
And I just let it drop off the nose and then I walk out.
The more bold black type shows you that there's been more good racehorses.
Tom, it's a really great initiative Thoroughbred Breeders Australia has come up with. TBA Learning, which is the thoroughbred industry's home for online learning. Explain a little bit about what you're trying to achieve here. It's not just for new people wanting to learn about the thoroughbred industry, but for people already working within it, there's always more to learn.
Yeah, so TBA Learning was essentially an idea that came up through the TBA at the TBA boardroom. Really just farms saying to us they wanted to create a resource so that people could learn pick up the basic skills that you would need if you walked onto a farm, what employers were hoping that their employees would know. Really, we created a special online platform, and we've got 20 separate modules which go through so many of the basic skills that people might need on a farm, and they can be used for someone straight coming into the industry or as a refresher for staff who are already there.
People try and train on the job, but it's very hard. There's so much to know when you're dealing with horses and in this industry about, whether it be pedigrees or, conformation. There's always so much more to learn that people just haven't really had a one-stop shop.
A lot of employers do a great job at taking their staff under their wing and really bringing them up and sharing their knowledge. But this was really built to support them in that role. We know it's important when people come in that they get taught, how things are done on each farm or whatever. But farmers said, look, if you can put that resource together into one place, create it so that anyone can learn no matter where they are in the country, that would really help us and speed up that process, on farm learning. So it's there really as a support to what's already going on.
You can complete part of a module in sort of 15 minutes, half an hour, so it's fairly quick to do. It doesn't take a huge amount of time in one sort of block. But the individual courses, biosecurity, horse foundation, horse handling, so important to know the right ways, of course, to handle a horse for the safety of horse and human. Horse health, there's so much to know there, but the basics are sometimes not taught on the job.
So if you go on the site, you'll see that the modules are sort of split into 3 streams. So you've got horse health, what you should be monitoring in your horse and, the checks you should be doing and what to look out for. Horse handling, which as it says, is about, being safe around horses. And then also biosecurity. So there are 3 different streams, and those are presented essentially in modules, which are smaller form. It might take someone 10, 15, 20 minutes to do a module, and they can put them all together and kind of create a course as well for them.
If you're leading up here and you're not watching your horse like this and she takes fright and I'm not watching her, she's going to run straight over the top of me.
And of course it's supported by AgriFutures, which is so important through the Thoroughbred levy. So it's really vital to get that sort of support, to put something together like this, which is really state of the art, and of course free of charge for anyone doing it.
I think one of the great things about TBA learning is that it's free for absolutely everyone, and that was really important to us when we started on the project. We want everyone in the industry to be able to learn and to develop their skills, but also people outside the industry to be able to access and tap into the knowledge that the breeding industry has. And one of the reasons why we were able to provide it free to everyone is because it was supported by AgriFutures and the Thoroughbred levy. So the Thoroughbred levy is a mandatory payment that all breeders has to make. It's $10 a mare, $10 a service from stallion owners, and that goes into research and development and really projects that will help deliver for the industry going forward. So this is one of those projects that's been funded. The take-up rate we've seen and the response to TBA learning, I think it shows that that's been a great investment.
And I mean, we're here at Inglis at the moment, and a lot of us in the industry, take for granted, we've been looking at pedigrees for a long time, and you don't realise people, and I see it a lot through Bred to Win, they ask, what's a blood sister or a blood brother, or what does this mean, or what's dam sire, or we take it for granted. Some people need to be taught how to read a pedigree.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter O'Brien is giving the talk on pedigrees, so amazing to have that great resource sharing his knowledge about the industry, and he's taken a confirmation module as well. So you're right, we've got this industry where there's a lot of jargon. We assume a high level of knowledge, and if you're in the industry, you're really embedded in it. But there's a huge amount of people out there. We know there's over 100,000 racehorse owners in Australia who have all got this interest, or lots of them have got this interest. So I've had a lot of emails from people who are not working on farms, who are not hands-on with horses, saying, "Oh, I saw TBA learning, and I've done these 8 modules already, and it's great. What else are you going to add to it?" And so I think there is a real thirst for knowledge out there for some of the stuff that maybe in the industry we kind of assume that we all know. So maybe lots of others do.
And it transfers too, I guess, out of the racing industry to the equestrian world too. I mean, things like, transport, loading, unloading, and also catching and releasing horses safely. And a really important one is how to lead a horse. I mean, thoroughbreds, they're quick as a whip. So, a lot of people in the equestrian world treat them like a doughy old schoolmaster, but they need to know, you really do need to lead a horse the correct way when you're dealing with these thoroughbreds.
From a health and safety perspective, it's absolutely important that people learn the right way, the right technique for handling horses. And, that's why so much of the modules that are online, so many of the modules that are online, you know, deal with that horse handling. And as you say, we've had a lot of interest from people outside the industry as well who want to take the courses, and you know, really grateful that the thoroughbred breeding industry has gone out there and put a resource together. Like, you know, there is nothing similar, certainly in Australia, in fact globally, where these resources have been put together and also provided for free as well. I think leaders in the industry have come forward and absolutely given up their time for free and been more than happy to engage in this and oversee all the modules and the written words as well as doing the videos. So, you know, very, very grateful for those that have given up their time. And yeah, I should say that when we started this and we were looking at the different subjects, we asked around the industry and said, well, who would you like to teach? You know, if you could choose someone in the industry to teach you about, you know, handling a yearling, you know, loading a horse on and off, or horse health, you know, who would you want to hear from? So that was part of the selection process. So I think we've got some really great people in the industry, and you know, certainly the feedback from other peers and leaders in the industry has been exceptional.
And it really has been well received, hasn't it?
As it stands today, we're up about 400 individual people who have signed on, got accounts and started their learning, and we're up at somewhere like 700 courses have been taken and completed already, which is really quite incredible. Farms are saying to us, lots of farms are saying to us, they're going to include the videos as part of their induction for new staff, and especially as we get closer to that breeding season and more staff coming on board, you know, especially casual staff, or you know, whether it's backpackers, you know, people who maybe haven't got a huge amount of experience, you know, these videos will really come into their own then, I think.
And if you want to know any more about the thoroughbred breeding industry, make sure you look at Thoroughbred Breeders Australia's website and the online training programs. Coming up after the break, the delightful Antoinette Inglis forging a career of her own.
Dunkel's rallying late. Dunkel after promises kept.
The Cambridge Stud Performance of the Week was Dunkel's win in the Group 1 South Australian Derby by an original Kiwi in 6-time Group 1 winner Dunkel. The gelding is from the Cape Cross mare Kudam and was bred by Sir Peter Vella's Pencaro stud. Originally sold as a weanling, he was on-sold as an NZB ready-to-run horse for $100,000. Dunkel is already the Launceston Guineas and Tasmanian Derby winner, and his dam is by Cape Cross. His second dam is by Sadler's Wells, creating the successful double cross of the champion European sire that's also carried by stars of the turf such as 11-time Group 1 winner Enable. Dunkel stands the 2023 season at Arrowfield Stud at a fee of $82,500. The Inglis family's been selling thoroughbreds since 1867, but that doesn't mean every member of every generation is going to follow through in the family destiny. Antoinette Inglis, the daughter of Arthur and Charlotte Inglis, is though determined to make her own career within the thoroughbred breeding industry. Antoinette, we're here obviously, Inglis Chairman's Sale is where we're filming, and you're going to be doing some of the signing up. Explain what your role is tonight for a sale where we see so many, you know, hugely interesting people around the room. It must be a buzz to be actually signing their names for these horses that are worth so much to so many.
Yeah, definitely. The sign-up process is it's a very quick job, but it's very important because if it's not done right, obviously the horse isn't sold. It's pretty exciting being there and getting to see all the horses go through. Feeling the atmosphere is another thing that's really great to be a part of, and it's great seeing where the horses end up and congratulating the buyers.
And of course you are, you know, Arthur and Charlotte's daughter, so from the Inglis family, but not everybody that is from a racing or a breeding or a sales based family gets involved in the industry. Can you sort of describe what it is that makes you want to work within the thoroughbred breeding industry?
I've worked a few jobs in the industry now, doing yearling prep and breeding season and racing stables, and I've really come to love the process, what it takes to bring a horse up from a foal to a yearling, and then from being yearling, seeing them on the track. And now I've gotten to be a part of that process a little bit. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, I can't wait for that to be a part of my life every year, to see horses come through the system. I really enjoy that.
You work hard, this is the whole point too. So when you're at Silverdale Farm, we filmed you with some of the yearlings that you'd actually foal down there. So it is part of it's a whole of life thing, isn't it? When you see them as foals when they have that first breath. And then tell us, you know, taking a horse like that through the ring, because we also have vision of you through the Easter Sales ring with some of those horses. It must just give you so much sort of joy and a real sense of reward.
Yeah, just because now I've been a part of the process from when they were foal, I can see how much hard work goes on behind the scenes and how much effort it is to actually get them to the sale. There's so much risk involved, so to get the feeling of being in the chute, like we've made it at the sale, is really incredible. It's such an achievement, and seeing the horses do so well was really special, yeah.
It's an emotional attachment, isn't it, that everyone has? And I know Steve and Eliza Grant at Silverdale, you know, they're so proud when their horses sell well, and you know, it is a real team effort, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was great. It's an honour to be a part of the team at Silverdale, and yeah, they're going big places. They're doing a really good job. And Rob Pettiff, he does an incredible job with the yearlings. He's so involved. They come a long way in the prep.
And you've had some great mentors. I mean, someone like Rob, you know, he would have been such a great person to learn from.
Rob's actually been a great mentor to me. Now I'm going to go around the world, and I'm going to work at all the sales venues and learn a lot about what goes on there, and I hopefully bring that back to Inglis. But yeah, it was really Rob that kind of told me I should do that, and I thought about it then, and he's taught me so much about leading the yearlings, like just how much goes into showing them. It's an art. Rob does an incredible job. Steve's very lucky to have him, and Rob's very lucky to have Steve. So they're a great pair. They're a great team.
And it's a bit like, you know, the Inglis team too. I mean, here, you know, with Sebastian Hutch, I know you've learned a lot from him. Tell us some of the things he sort of helped with in particular to, you know, to help you as a younger person coming through the industry.
Well, yeah, Sebastian is really good at giving time to the younger people that start at Inglis, and I've gone around and looked at yearlings with Sebastian, and he does a really good job of teaching. He explained to me how he looks at yearlings. He has a process that he looks at yearlings, and he makes sure that there's no variation between horses when he looks at them. He tries to keep it all very much the same. I love taking notes, and I keep the books when I take notes on them, and coming back to them when maybe they're going well on the track and seeing what I wrote down and noting that for the future, yeah, what I thought of that horse when it was just a yearling.
Another thing Sebastian sort of encourages is keeping notes on people you meet. Tell us about that. That's fascinating.
Oh yes, that's one thing Sebastian did teach me. When he walks around the complex, he'll make sure he knows every single person here, and if he doesn't, he makes sure to introduce himself. I went around Tattersalls last year for the broodmare sale. Whenever I met someone, I would take a little note in the back of my book, their name and one thing to help me remember who they were, so if I come across them again, I'd be like, oh, okay, great, this is this person.
Rather than going and doing necessarily a course, you'd rather get out there and get working, I guess.
I've got a job in England. I start there in August. I'm going to do the yearling, the sales season over there with a small farm called Bloodstock. I'm very excited to be part of their small team. They are two girls, Flying Start graduates that run the farm, and they're going to help me out, introduce me to lots of people. And so I think, yeah, that's really important. I think the meeting people, because networking is a massive part of the industry, and that's how you progress in the industry, forming those connections.
But it is about hard work, isn't it? I mean, you're doing the hard yards.
Yeah, I don't really see it as hard work, because I really enjoy it. Because I love working with the horses and the foals and everything like that, so it's not hard doing that. You just have to form good connections, I guess, with the right people, and everyone's pretty willing to help. I mean, the worst thing someone can say is no. So this week I'm going around with Peter Ford. He offered to take me around, and he's already taught me so much. Jenny McAlpine's become a really good mentor to me. She took me around Tattersalls, introduced me to a bunch of people. She and I are working towards setting up a path for me to work towards a job here eventually, but I want to bring value to the company, so yeah, I want to earn that spot. Maybe while I'm overseas, maybe getting involved in some pin hooks. I'd have quite a few friends that would be happy to jump in a weanling with me and start small. Yeah. We're actually really supportive in the industry is what I've found. Like, everyone wants everyone to succeed. A win for one person's most of the time a win for someone else. So we want to have more people in the industry. We want to grow our grassroots. So there's so many ways into the industry, I guess. A lot of places are short-staffed. A lot of places are really happy to bring people on and teach people. I would say to anyone, don't be afraid to network, to meet people, and to just ask simple favours. Just go to the races, go to the sales. There's lots of opportunities in the industry and there's lots of people that are willing to help others into the industry. We want to see it grow too, so just ask.
Hold on. 755, thank you very much.
Antoinette Inglis with all the passion and drive to make it in the thoroughbred industry. Coming up after the break on Bred to Win, one of her mentors, Peter Ford, in Arrowfield Studs, horse who made you love racing.
The horse that made me love racing was probably Manicato, closely followed by Kingston Town. Like any horse that can win 4 William Reeds or horse can win 3 Cox Plates does get you interested. I had key rings of them both, by the way, because I came out of the 60s with my father had a client called Philippe Ismail, who was huge in racing and won 23 2-year-old races in town in one season when there was only 2 meetings a week. So every cutting from there I still have in a scrapbook. I was 12 at the time. And I still have all those cuttings, so I remember the breeding of all those horses more than I do from the ones we saw today.
But that obviously made you develop an interest in those pedigrees, which now you've developed into buying star racehorses.
I drifted more into breeding and interest in breeding, and obviously, you know, my favourite broodmare is Helsing, of course, and that has made me look at why horses like that would run. So I look into the genetics of horses, and I tend to, in this data-driven world, I tend to be more a organic type of person in looking at horses, and then overlay that theory over what I like, basically, rather than do it the other way around. I was taught to have in my mind's eye, have a picture of a perfect horse, and every now and then, 1 or 2 would sort of fall into that. So I've been fortunate enough this week to go around with Antoinette, and she's soaking up knowledge like nobody's business, which is a great thing. Young people today, you've got to show young people, if you can, and give them the time to develop and expand their interest. And I like doing it. I've done it with lots of young people and I enjoy it.
That is Bred to Win for Series 1 2023. Thanks to our wonderful sponsors, Arrowfield Stud, Inglis, Cambridge Stud, G1 Goldmine and Thoroughbred Breeders Australia. Don't miss next week with the return of Thoroughbreds Argo, talking about the great athleticism of our thoroughbreds away from racing and educating people on their best care. Bred to Win will return in early August with some great stallion profiles. I'm Caroline Searcy. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Bred to Win, brought to you by Arrowfield, the home of 4-time champion sire Snitzel.